we're going to wait until there are people joining in the show. And let's see what's happening. Hey, how come this broadcast is not available? Why is that? What's happening here? Hope everyone is doing well. Let's see what we got here. Going to take a few minutes to just get everything set and organized. Open live. Okay. That is all good. All right. Ooh, let's see. Wait, what's going on with this? What's happening? Where's my box? Hi everybody, how are you? Thank you for joining. Give me a minute while I get everything set up here. Let's see, refresh my chat. All right, cool. Let me just give some text. Hello all. All right. So let's see, are we live here? Is Kick live? Do we even know if Kick is live? We don't know if Kick is live yet. Kick sometimes takes some time because it's bizarrely slow, which I don't know why. Anyone on Kick from here? Anyone? All right, cool. So we're just going to get started. We're going to do fourth episode of In Daniel We Trust. That's what we're calling this right now, In Daniel We Trust. Whether you trust what I say or not. So you're on here and you're listening, and it's In Daniel We Trust. So conversation today, the topic today is words. Actually, I ran into this today. Look. Whoa. I ran into this today. Can you read this? Words are free. It is how you use them that may cost you. This was today at my kid's school. How relevant is this for right now? Because the entire, we'll say, half of the world is in panic mode or imploding about that they can't speak or say something without losing their job right now. This is regarding, obviously, everything going on since the assassination of Charlie Kirk. People that have spoken on social media or broadcasted videos and have dignified it and have spoken badly, they're losing their jobs now. People are sending those videos to their employers, to their companies, to their families, to out them, as they say. So there's a couple things, of course, with that, because that is causing all kinds of chaos everywhere. Number one, I think the first question should be is, if you don't agree with somebody and you know that there is so much tension right now that somebody was murdered, and murdered live in front of everybody. Why would you anyway, if you don't agree with them, and you don't agree with their political side was, or their religious side was, or their human side was, they're still a human being. Why would you go broadcast something on your social media that either pokes fun at or degrades or anything? What would be the point and purpose that you need to feel so empowered behind your keyboard or your, texting warrior that you are, that you need to go and broadcast this spewed hate nonsense to everybody? And then when people screenshot it or grab it or save it and share it with your boss, you are then so upset and that you lose your job for it, that you are so upset and now you're crying on social media, again broadcasting that, which is just very weird to me, complaining why you lost your job. So they say, oh, they're supposed to have freedom of speech and, they live in the US and they should have freedom of speech. Okay, yes, it's freedom of speech. We all understand it's freedom of speech and you can use your words however you want. But that doesn't mean that your employer has to have a psychopath working for them who finds it perfectly fine that somebody was murdered and you're celebrating it. As a business owner, I would not want that person working for me either, whatever the political view is. So I think that the point is missed here because now they're all crying. There's been thousands of people that have been fired from their jobs. There's been assistant deans from universities. There's been doctors. There's been lawyers. There's been simple people from someone from could be from coffee shops, from restaurants, wherever it is. Why would you want anybody working for you that is so vocal and so proud to watch something so heinous take place? You wouldn't want that person anyway working for you. So I think that the whole jumbled up problem of them being demented is that these people think that they were fired because either someone doesn't like them or someone outed them or because they're not allowed to have free speech. This isn't free speech. It's not about free speech. No one's taking your free speech away. You can go talk to your friend. It's okay, go talk to your friend. You're broadcasting this hate and spewing it out to everybody. All people did was take what you put out. You put it out to the universe. They just took it and showed it to your employer. And your employer then took a decision to say, I do not want this psychopath working for me because I don't think that they are stable. And so I don't trust them. It's that simple. That is actually the entire chain of how this happens. No one took away your freedom of speech. Nobody's saying you don't have freedom of speech. You have freedom of speech. We as employers have the freedom and the right to determine who works for us and who does not work for us. That is what owning a business is. If we feel someone is unstable because they chose to broadcast to the world that the murder of someone was acceptable, that deems you unstable and inhumane and just ridiculous and pretty much probably a bit uneducated that you would do that. There has been documented cases where, let's say, an assistant dean of a university has texted this either on LinkedIn, put this on LinkedIn or on her social media. What kind of person in their right mind, in a position of that, would think in the morning that it was a good idea to go and post this somewhere on LinkedIn or on another platform and then be upset that they got fired? You are the assistant dean of a university in Tennessee. What more of a responsibility do you have than to ensure that the people, the students, the children on your campus or off campus, on campus, feel safe and secure? Instead, you text some psychopath message out that Charlie Kirk deserved. Are you insane? There has to be something clinically wrong with someone who posts that on social media. So, and again, this didn't just happen in some weird vacuum or some small bubble that just popped. This has been becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. This is becoming since the attempted assassinations on Trump. This has been from the killing of a healthcare CEO. This has been from the killings of workers from from the Israeli embassy. in Washington, D.C. This has been when people started to celebrate this kind of insanity, this bubble became bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it has exploded. Hi, how are you, Mr. Uh, Sizan? I think Sizan. Hi, how are you? From Bangladesh. I've been to Bangladesh a bunch of times. I've been to Dhaka many times. So I think that now that this bubble has exploded and we are done with this nonsense, I think that you are going to see very fast, because so many people have been outed for their insane behavior. I think that you are going to see this be done, and you're going to see less and less of this crazy rhetoric. And it doesn't mean that people aren't thinking crazy. They are thinking crazy. If you have these thoughts in your head and you're celebrating this kind of garbage and this shit, then it's in your head anyway. But maybe you broadcasting it, it's going to happen less. I'm sure of it, because most stable people don't want to lose their job over something like this, and most sane people also just don't do stuff like this. So the other thing that is happening is that they're complaining. The people that are fired are complaining that they were outed, and they say like, "Oh, MAGA has outed us." This isn't MAGA has outed. This isn't even a MAGA thing. That's so absurd that you would put this on a MAGA thing. This is not about MAGA. This is about basic humanity. You have something clinically wrong if you celebrate the death of somebody. This isn't MAGA. This isn't, oh, I'm from, wherever you're from. This is nothing about that. This is just black and white. You're either right or you're wrong in this. That's all it is. Don't try to blame people, religious blame, cultural blame, political blame. It's not that. It's right or wrong. You're either psychologically unstable or you're a normal human being. That's all. Hey, what's up? Andy, hi, how are you? Hi, Ryan, how are you? Hi, Santosh, how are you? From Visalia, California. I don't know where Visalia, California is, and I lived in Sherman Oaks for quite some time, and I lived in Hollywood for a while. Where is Visalia? And I lived in Studio City. Where's Visalia, California? I don't know where that is, but I'll look it up. I'm sure it's beautiful. So anyway, so that is actually what the topic of today is, because again, like I said, I walked into my children's school this morning for a totally absurd reason of cleanliness, because my children go to school in India and somehow that is an issue in the school. And this was on the board. Maybe they just put it on the board, but it is wonderful. Words are free. It's how you use them that may cost you. What a perfect thing to teach children. Perfect. So adults out there, maybe you adults should follow this. What do you think? Not such a hard thing, right? If they're teaching this to my 7 and 9-year-old, my 2 7 and 9-year-old, and to the other 1,000 kids in the school, I'm sure that you adults can also follow this. So it's basic. That's all it is. Now, since we're on this topic, of course, and this won't be a long, by the way, this won't be a long broadcast or podcast or whatever. Again, so I do this every few days. It's called In Daniel We Trust. It is just my opinions on matters that are going on. It is how I view everything, how I view what is going on in the world. It's a lot of political, a lot of news, a lot of breaking news. Like breaking news, for us this morning was that, Robert Redford died, which is very, very sad. I'm sure there'll be some psychopath somewhere that will celebrate that too, which I don't even understand how. He was amazing, iconic. So we all loved Robert Redford, and there's probably been 100 movies that you've watched, and if you didn't even know him because maybe you're of a later generation, you would have seen him in it and said, wow, that's a great movie, classic movie. And then you're like, now you'll go back and you'll look and you go, whoa, that was Robert Redford, and it was amazing. And he produced a lot of stuff. And he, of course, was very, very heavily involved in the film festivals. And supporting young filmmakers and producers and young directors and everybody. So his was the Like I'm totally spacing out on his film festival right now. It'll come to me in 1 second, but obviously it was one of the biggest. It was someone will help me and get the name of it in 1 second. It was called Hi, My Mother is on here. Isn't that amazing? Give me a tip. This is my mother. Robert Redford's film festival was. This is to my mother. She knows all this kind of stuff because she loved Robert Redford. I'm sure of it, and I'm going to take that as a guess. It was Redford's film festival was what was it called? Sundance. Sorry, Sundance. Because I keep always thinking of Toronto Film Festival because we have done such that. Sundance Film Festival. So again, just giving this as, you know what, it's for the film world, what a huge loss. Robert Redford lived an amazing life, and that's it. Just wanted to give that. So we're going back to words again. I'm going to keep showing this because people should know this. Again, in my children's school, when you walk in, words are free. How you use them may cost you. Very nice. So Sundance, no Sundance Kid, Sundance Film Festival, but yes, the Sundance Kid. So actually the first movie that I watched with Robert Redford, which is so much later in his career, was Indecent Proposal with Demi Moore and with Woody Harrelson. What an amazing movie. That's how actually I was turned on to Robert Redford, and that was definitely considered, I would think, later in his career. So, but, you know, I'm born in 1978, so I'm later in Robert Redford's career. Now, back to what is going on. So like I said, words, yes, they may cost you, sure. So everyone that's crying about losing their job, and we're going back to this, the people that are crying, losing their job, and saying that MAGA people outed them. MAGA people didn't out you. You actually outed yourself because you are psychologically unstable, and you decided that you needed to stream or post or broadcast your hatred towards someone and your happiness for someone that was murdered. And because you find that to be normal, you deserve to lose your job. That's just the fact of it. This isn't about I have freedom of speech. This not you have freedom of speech. Go talk in the street. Go talk to yourself. Go talk to your friend. But the fact that you broadcast it is then sent to your employer. So please, anyone that's watching, and my stuff usually gets watches later on. And thank you, everybody. The last episode, you know, for me, having 4,000 people watch afterwards is a lot for me. I'm someone who does this because I just generally enjoy doing this for myself. It's therapeutic. So when 4,000 people watch it later, I say, wow, that's amazing that 4,000 people are interested in this. So again, this is just advice for you. You might want to pass it on to anybody that you know, is that it is not the people that outed you. It is actually yourself and your employer who deemed you unfit to work in that environment because you're a psychopath that felt like broadcasting such hate. So now moving forward, I really do believe in my heart, I truly believe this, that there's going to be a change. A little bit of a change in the empathy, not empathy that people feel, the empathy that people will broadcast. There's a big difference. Again, inside, you want to not like someone, don't like someone. I don't like some people. I don't like a lot of people, actually. But in my age, I can choose who I like and who I don't. It actually doesn't matter to me. But how you broadcast it to the world is everything. You should at least practice some sympathy, empathy. It's important. Just like we teach children, it's important for adults to do that, because adults at some point have sort of lost this whole thing when they become fanatical in their thoughts of what is right and what is wrong. And so, anyway, so that is the moral of this, and that is the entire premise of this. I'm sure that you all have heard people talking on both sides of the aisle about what is happening and what is happening since that obviously terrible event. And that is all. So to everybody that is listening, to everyone that is listening, and just remember, and I will say it one more time, words are free, which that they are. How you use them will cost you, may cost you. How you use them may cost you. Okay, remember that for your day. You have a lovely day, and, practice a little empathy. It goes a long way. Love you all. See you next time on In Daniel.